my chats.
1% crit. I
Unfortunate.
crit it as team up. I got it.
That's why I always stick Brawler's Glove. Every game. And then I run in level 1 and try to auto them to death, and if I don't crit them, I ult.
So, same bans as yesterday.
I'm gonna mute my audio on like this.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
No, not deafen, like on the
Bye.
screen.
Bye bye. See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Okay, so
Okay. Alright, Mike. I don't know if you're there. But I'm gonna be. Yeah, are you Mikeless? You have me server. Oh my god. Okay, there you go. I think you're good.
Oh man.
Alright. I'm
I'm
gonna
so
be back.
excited.
I'm gonna be back. I have to like give him a pep talk. Okay. Alright, guys. Here we go. Sunny Hills versus Troy. Sunny
Hills Black.
Sunny Hills Black versus Troy's only team.
Yeah.
Yikers.
Audio will be muted for champ select. Alright, there we go. Alright, here we are in game 2, actually, of Sunny Hills Black versus Troy Varsity. So, Sunny Hills took the win in the first match because Troy had some, like, technical difficulties or something, so this best of 3 is starting 1-0. So we are going to be jumping into game 2 momentarily.
How exciting.
Check my settings here. Alright, here we go. So, what do you think of these team comps?
I was sitting here alone in my room. It's 11:15 p.m. where I am,
Alright.
and I woke up my whole house screaming "Ban Kog'Maw." I don't think Sunny Hills hurt me.
Right. And they actually opted to not ban the Lulu here, so giving away the Lulu Kog'Maw to Troy's side. Maybe a little bit of carelessness coming out of Sunny Hills.
Their team's alright. I think both team comps are pretty evenly matched.
What do you
They're
think
pulling
of
out what,
this?
Camille jungle?
It looks like it's actually Talia jungle and Camille mid. I think Vinhee is an actual avid Camille mid player. What do you think of this Talia jungle pick?
There's nothing to think about. I've never seen anything like it.
I've actually seen a few Talia jungles in ranked, but from what I can say, the clear's a little bit rough. She doesn't really have that much natural sustain. But
Yeah, I'd
the
figure.
ganks are actually pretty strong because she's able to move the map so well. And once she hits 6, she's actually able to set up tower dives really well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that even if he is an avid Camille mid player, that he opted into Camille versus Azir. I'd imagine that Azir does pretty well into Camille.
Right, especially because of the just extreme range that Azir has.
Right, and not even that. Even if Camille manages to get onto the Azir with the ulti, Azir can just push her out of the ult circle or
cancel it.
hexagon, whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
and it just cancels the effect. So it'll be interesting to see.
Let's direct our attention towards the bot lane. So we have on Sunny Hill's side Varus Alistar versus Troy's Kog'Maw Lulu, Ram KK and Layson Ching. So who would you say has the upper hand in this bot lane matchup?
Usually I would say that the Kog'Maw Lulu would be a lot stronger than any other bot lane,
Right.
but the Lulu didn't take Ignite, which loses them a lot of lane pressure because they can't take all in as well compared to
very
the
true.
Alistar, which is running Ignite.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that they'd have to play pretty well in order to win the lane.
I know that Lulu with her polymorph has a lot of point and click, just hard CC to completely counter the Alistar combo, so Gext will probably have to work his timing really well around that. I think that when this game goes to the late game, ultimately it comes down to the ADCs. As Varus...
I think late game, if they manage to, just get a solid 5-on-5, it'll obviously come down to the AD carries, but I think what Sunny Hill side is going to be looking for is a lot of picks using the Alistar and Varus.
Especially because of the Varus.
Yeah.
And it looks like Kog'Maw will probably be going for an on-hit build here because of the Shen Alistar J4. And that's a pretty standard Kog'Maw build, but it will be interesting to see what itemization Javine goes into here. He could definitely go lethality for the early trades, but I think in the long run,
I definitely expect an on-hit build to match the Kog'Maw damage.
Right. And in the top lane, it looks like it will be a bit of a wet noodle fight, but I know that Darius and Shen both have pretty high early damages, so there's definitely
I'd say
a lot of
it's the
potential
opposite
for
of a
fights
wet
there.
noodle fight. I think it's one wet noodle hiding in the corner while Darius does his thing.
Okay.
I think it's just up to Shen to not get demolished top lane and look for the plays around bot and mid using his ult, and I think that's what'll win them the early game.
Well, if we look at the jungle matchups here, I think that Jarvan definitely has the upper hand in early gank pressure and just overall jungle presence, in the sense that Talia will not be able to invade him, but Jarvan should definitely be looking for some picks on Talia.
Right. I have no idea what a Talia jungle's clear path would be, but I'd imagine that it's 3 camps top. looking at the with Jarvan, he'll do the same thing. So if they wind up 2v2ing top, I think the Talia Darius combo will really just out damage the
For sure.
Jarvan Shen combo.
Right, that totally makes sense. But I guess we can only wait and see as we quickly load into Game 2 of Sunny Hills versus Troy.
For having us on the stream. Don't know if my mic picked that up or not, but
It got a good half of it. I think
Yeah,
it
whatever.
left out the thanks, but that's fine. So right, both top laners here, opting for Grasp of the Undying. Maybe Darius looking to build pretty hard tank for his Kog'Maw here.
I'd expect just Cleaver into full tank.
Right. Talia actually opts for the Summon Airy instead of the Arcane Comet. It's an interesting move, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, usually the thing about running Comet on Talia is you'll send out your W, I think it is, the little minefield.
Right.
And you'll tag someone with the first half of it, and they'll shoot the comet at them. But by the time the comet lands, you're eating them into the minefield, so it, can miss a lot.
Okay. Alright, so it does look like the game has started here. Players should be loading momentarily. And I think we will be staying in directed camera for most of this tournament here. This best of 3. So Sunny Hills on the blue side, Troy High School on the red side. And it does look like both teams are looking for an invade, and a pause has
And we
actually
got a
come down.
pause.
Okay. Can only be expected. Expect the unexpected.
This is a premier strat coming out from both sides using
Right,
this
and the
pause.
pause has actually come down from the Sunny Hills side, but play will be resumed. Maybe they just had a... Oh. Okay. It looks like Troy's pause this time.
One thing to notice here is that both mid laners are running exhaust.
Right.
So odds are they're just gonna try and farm it out and play around their junglers.
I think that's a bit of an interesting summoner spell choice from Camille, taking exhaust against the Nazir. I definitely want to see more of an aggressive early game coming out of Camille, as he has a lot of gap closers, and Azir's early game is just frankly not as strong. Camille should be able to outtrade him with the shield, but maybe in the early level she'll get zoned off.
I wonder if with this Jarvan pick, if they're gonna try any cheese early bot lane using the Alistar.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of potential with it, considering that their bot lane has no real escape to
No
it being
mobility,
Kog'Maw
right.
movement.
Yeah, and I think you're definitely right in that sense. That the bot lane gank pressure is just so high here.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
We see a 5-stat coming out from both teams towards the bot river.
Right.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Looking at this level 1, I think that the upper hand goes to the side of Sunny Hills, especially just because of all the hard CC level 1 that they have with the Shenton and the Alistar Pulverize.
Oh yeah, if they're able to coordinate it.
But it looks like both teams will be taking the safe option here.
Minions have spawned.
It doesn't look like any deep wards will be coming out in either jungle.
I'm interested to see in how this Camille will be clearing her jungle, or the Talia will be clearing her jungle. And both junglers will be starting in their bot side.
Sides to every issue.
And it does look like Talia will be able to get her red buff. Clearing a little bit faster than J4. And Vinhi getting poked out in the early levels against Tasty Apple's Azir. Actually getting some good retaliation damage. Both mid laners popping one potion.
interesting to see that Darius opted for a corrupting bot for his first item.
Right.
Figured that he'd try to go more aggressive with the Doran's Blade,
Maybe
but
with the Doran's Blade. And the Sunny Hills bot lane getting the early level 2. Gex moving up really aggressively here. But just zoning the Kog'Maw off of the farm doesn't look like they're going to be trying for a really hard push here. And both junglers now reaching their second buff. It looks like Jarvan will be clearing a bit faster than Talia. Gex going really aggressively here. Lands the headbutt pulverize onto both members of Troy's bot lane. And a good trade coming out from both sides. Meanwhile,
yeah, it looks like
Tasty-
Talia had a really rough first clear.
Right. Talia barely managing to survive that red buff. And it looks like Nishvish will be heading over to try to invade Lament's jungle, but Lament able to escape with relative ease as the Mia pings come down from Tasty Apples.
I think Jarvan could definitely get a gank off top right here.
Right. J-Tao a little bit extended here, but it looks like Nishfish will be opting for the Gromp. And actually, Vinhi forced to take his first back. Zone completely off the wave by Tasty Apples, and Tasty Apples should be able to shove in this this wave here. Keeping his level advantage over Vinhi. Flame Link going aggressive onto J-Tao. Actually, Flame Link over here. It looks like he is keeping a level advantage over J-Tao. 4-3.
See Talia is trying to set up a gank here. Could definitely get it off if Shen walks up
And
again.
it doesn't look like Flame Link has vision in that river bush, so if he does extend over here, he will be in some trouble. Looks like Troy looking for the gank, but Shen's able to sidestep the seismic shove. Nishfish going really aggressive here onto Camille. Gets a knockup, but doesn't go further. So it looks like Lament's going to be taking the base here, maybe running a little bit out of mana.
Yeah, early on we can definitely see that Camille is falling very behind in terms of CS in mid and in level. He's down a whole
Nishfish
level.
gets a really good knockup here onto Vinhi. Vinhi's able to fairly easily escape with the Camille lead. And yeah, like you said, Tasty Apples forming a really high CS lead onto Vinhi. And it looks like First Blood will be going over to J-Tao. Completely unassisted, flashing into the tower. Flame and Link, the damage just a bit too high that early on.
Yeah, it's what we talked about earlier. The Shen having to play more
Nishfish
carefully.
looking for a gank here into the bot lane. And it looks like Gex and Javin will be able to pick up that kill onto Lace and Chang. The heal coming down from Ram KK just a bit too late. And the burst from Javin's Varus proving to be a bit too high. It looks like maybe a dive coming down from the Sunny Hills bot lane. 2 flashes coming down. Ram KK instantly popped. Gex pulls off that beautiful headbutt pulverize combo. And that will be
Great
a
setup
second
by
kill.
Sunny Hill there, using the Alistar and the Jarvan early to get that dive.
Right, and that's exactly what we were looking for here. The early game pressure into this immobile bot lane, and it looks like Sunny Hill is pushing for this first tower, putting their coaching into good use.
I heard they have an excellent coach.
Calvin Gao, UCI's finest. And it looks like Nishfish is going to be taking the base here, along with Gex. And Flame and Link just a bit zoned off from J-Tao after he loses that 1v1.
While they were hitting that tower, we passed 6 minutes, now stopwatches are becoming active. We can see on the Troy side they have 4 stopwatches on everyone but their Camille. So that's something that Sunny Hill will definitely have to be cautious of on their ganks and any objective fights around Dragon or Rift Herald.
Right. And now that Vinhi is level 6 on that Camille, he's looking to play really aggressively towards Tasty Apples. Tasty Apples forced to play a little bit further back, getting a bit zoned off. As Vinhi's burst is going to be starting to ramp up now.
This could be a catch on the Talia right here.
Lament over here. It looks like he is going to be a little bit caught out with Nishfish and Gex moving up from the bot lane, but he will be able to get out of that with ease. Gex getting another heads-up pulverize combo onto Ram KK, but no follow-up there from his ADC.
Yeah, we can see early as well that both AD carries are opting into their on-hit builds.
Right.
Both Russian and Guinsu's.
Guinsu's Rage Blade. And the farm in this game, although in the top side leaning towards Troy's favor, but it is a losing matchup for Flaming Link. In the bot lane,
I think that if he opted into either a Ninja Tabby or a Bramble Vest early instead of the Bomby Cinder, I think he would be.
Bad.
Yeah, I think he'd be much better off.
But in the mid lane and the bot lane, we see a 10 CS gap from the Troy's and Sunny Hill's respective roles.
Yeah. Vinny's actually done an excellent job of catching back up to the Azir in terms of farm.
Right.
I believe early on he was down more than 20 CS and he narrowed it down to 10.
And Vinny is playing more and more aggressive here, just moving up and taking the Azir harass. He's looking for an all-in on Azir 1v1, but Tasty Apples playing the spacing really well, not giving him the opportunity. And
yeah, a big part of Camille's aggression here is due to the double control where they had.
Oh, Lament here actually. It looks like Gex was a little baited in, and a team fight is going to be starting down in the bot lane. The Shen ulti comes down onto Javine. Lulu's Wild Growth forced onto Lament, and the wall is taken down. Kog'Maw just getting 3 hits off, but Lacen Ching will be the first to fall. Gex following shortly after. Looks like Flaming Link will be surviving this fight down here, and both carries disengaging from the fights. But here comes Tasty Apples on that Azir. A little bit too late, but enough to make Ram KK fall off, and it looks like Troy and Sunny Hills will be trading supports here.
Yeah, that could have turned out terribly for Sunny Hill.
Oh, Tasty Apples going super aggressively here. With the Emperor's Divide, the Shurima Shuffle coming up behind, they managed to pick up the kill onto Ram KK, but Tasty Apples will be falling after tanking one too many tower hits there. But a beautiful Emperor's Divide coming out from Sunny Hill's mid laner. Lament looking to clear the spot lane down here, but running out of mana. It looks like Javine might be able to pick up this first tower down here. Gex moving up really aggressively, looking for a headbutt combo. And Troy's bottom tier 3 tower, just a few autos away from falling.
Yeah, the fight could have went either way because the Shen ult, even though it was casted, it got interrupted by the Darius pull.
Right, so the shield went down, but Shen wasn't able to go through.
Yeah, but Jarvan was able to capitalize off of that big fight bot lane, knowing where Talia was. Instead of being able to counter gank, he did kill the Darius in top lane.
Right, so after Darius tried to stop the Shen ultimate, he pursued him into a dive, but Nishfish was able to catch him out. And J-Tao did fall there.
And so, or we can see that the Camille is finally caught up to the Azir and farm. Both at a even 75, and the top lane matchup is just getting worse and worse for that Shen.
Right. And you're right about the lack of the Bramble Vest or Ninja Tabi. Starting to show the gap in the damages that both champs deal. And getting entirely zoned off. Oh, Vinhi here, actually catching out Tasty Apples, but here comes Nishfish. Vinhi forced to flash the Emperor's Divide, as the jungler is there to provide for his mid laner. Looks like Flamin', the first tower in bot lane, has gone down for Troy. Tournament going a little bit aggressive here on J-Cal. And it doesn't look like a kill will be coming down. And Sunny Hill is going to be taking this Cloud Drake. Looks like no resistance offered up by Troy, but Vinci looking for a roam in the top lane. Not really able to find anything. AC Apple's going really aggressively on to Vinci. Camille E cancel sliding headbutt combo. And here comes Lament, but what are you doing, Lament? Jumping into 4 members of Sunny Hills. It's instantly shredded by Javine and Casey Apples. J-Tower almost able to take down that top tier 3 tower. Looks like it should be going down in the next round.
Yeah, I think the call coming out from Sunny Hill now is they're just gonna back and they're gonna send their bot lane to top lane. They're gonna push out that next tower, possibly grab Rift Herald, and yeah, they'll just have to see where they go from there.
Looks like it. Troy opting to send their AD carry and support into the mid lane, maybe looking for pressure onto that tier 3 tower.
Yeah, I think a big thing they want to do here is put Camille in a side lane. So at this point, she hasn't getting poked out as much by the Azir, and is able to just keep pressuring those towers.
Right. And actually, Javine, I think bot lane solo here might be caught out by Vinhi, but Gex, the pings go down onto Vinhi. Gex looking for a really aggressive pick here. Gets the pulverize off, but it doesn't look like there's any follow-up.
Yeah, really interesting to not see a lane swap between Sunny Hill's top and bot lane, considering how much the Shen is struggling.
Right, but maybe it does look like now that J-Tao is leading by almost 50 CS, I guess they have chosen to use Shen as a shield rather than trying to save the lane, win through bot lane. And the stopwatches are actually still up for the majority of the wins on Sunny Hills, as well as Troy. We have the stopwatch up in Vars, as well as Lulu and Darius.
Yeah, we see both junglers are trying to set up a play pop. They're just kind of run into each other.
And if you look at the gold charts here, Javine almost 2,000 gold ahead of RamKK at this point. Only 15 minutes into the game. Gexo's really aggressive here. On to Troy's bot lane. RamKK forced to flash out. While growth comes down. The teleport cancelled by Flaming Mist. And it looks like Darius will not be able to join the fight. But Darius in hot pursuit of Shen. Flaming Mist looks like he will get dove here. The blood stacks, as well as the Noxian Guillotine. Finishing off Flame and Link, and it looks like tier 2 tower for Sunny Hill with the football. Gex caught out here by Vinhi. RamKK picks up that kill, but Vinhi, Sunny Hills with the retaliation kill. The Emperor's Divide comes down onto 2 members of Troy. A triple kill coming out for Haveen. As Troy is just losing these macro team fights. A 3-for-1 coming out. The Shush looking for a dive here onto Lament. Doesn't look like Lament will be giving one. And this tier 2 bot tower should be falling. And Javine on the Varus, just tearing through the members of Troy.
Yeah, I know it's not very good to be looking back this early on the early game, but I think that Troy's jungler, they could have done a lot more to help out their bot lane, because we were able to see how early they were just getting zoned off the CS, and now you can just see the item difference between the Kog'Maw and the Varus. Varus being up a whole item on that Kog'Maw.
And that's what we were talking about before with the J4's early pressure compared to Leah's, and it doesn't look like Lament was able to follow that up. But I think one of the biggest gaps here in this game is the pressure exerted by Tasty Apples versus Vinhe. We see Tasty Apples is able to rotate so much faster than Vinhe, and the Emperor's Divide just dealing so much AoE damage, whereas Vinhe may be looking for picks onto Javine, but with Flame and Link's shield as well as Gek's quick mobility boot rotation, it doesn't look like Vinhe is able to pick off the ADC.
Yeah, so far this game we've seen excellent vision control by Troy and topside, and it's a real issue for them that is really reflected in their bot side at any point.
Definitely.
It could a lot to cancel out that Jarvan.
And Sunny Hill's looking for the Rift Herald here. It looks like... Oh, Javine actually caught out by J-Town, forced to flash over the wall, but here comes the... Oh. Here comes the J4 ulti onto Kog'Maw, the Wild Growth going down, but it looks like Jarvan will be falling really quickly. Mishmish killed by RamKK's Kog'Maw. Forced to flash out, but it looks like RamKK will survive this fight. Stopwatch coming out from J-Town. Then he re-engaging here onto the Azir. But the Varus damage is just too high. He's completely untouched this fight. Flashing over the wall and getting in a position where he's able to get free shots on his Troy. And Sunny Hill should be able to clean up this fight here. Tasty Apple goes down to the Disney Tower. But Flame and Link and Javine able to clean up this fight. Picking up 5 members of Troy. And a clean 3-5 for Sunny Hills.
Troy played that fight exactly how they wanted to as well. They got the early pick on the Varus, forcing him to flash out of the fight really. Like on the other side of the wall, he wasn't able to auto attack anyone. And they got this Leo wall for extra zoning on him and I think Azir in that fight. And they still managed to lose it the way that they did.
And that was actually such a good apprehend coming out from J-Tal, managing to find Javine on that very edge of the frame, but even with that pick, it looks like Troy wasn't cooperating enough to, or communicating enough, I should say, to capitalize on that pick. It looks like Sunny Hill is maybe trying to sneak this dragon, but 4 members of Troy have come down. And it looks like the dragon will be going over to Troy. Then he manages to get a pick onto Nickfish, but J-Tao stuck over the wall, not able to flash it. Gek should be falling here. Tasty Apples, Shurima shuffling out of the way. Javine is dominating here on the Varus, gets a double kill onto RamKK's Kog'Maw. Manages to stopwatch the Icathian surprise. J-Tao's Noxian Guillotine, not quite enough to finish off Javine here. And the 7-0 Varus, just so strong.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to get to a point where Alistar and Varus will be able to just win any fight. Now that they have the Varus hitting 2.5 items and the Knight's Vow coming out from the Alistar, I don't see a way that their bot lane could possibly lose these fights.
Right, and at this point, Varus has picked up a 4k gold lead over the Kog'Maw. That's about 2 items at this point. And we just see a gold difference just coming out from all members of Sunny Hills. Gold lead. Garen will be going over to Sunny Hills, uncontested by Troy. And if you look at the red team's Fog of War, they have quite a few pink wards in their bot side jungle. Oh, stop here, RamKK, a little bit caught out by Nishfish, but Nishfish doesn't have the J4 ulti to quite capitalize on that. Tasty Apples messing up the Emperor's Divide here, getting a whiff onto Lament, and it looks like Troy lives to see another day. The Eye of the Herald drop down here in the mid lane, and it looks like Sunny Hill should be able to take down this tier 3 mid tower. And Sunny Hill's thirsty for more, pushing deeper into this tier 2 mid, and Troy does not look like they will be able to clear this away. And the pings come down. Looks like Sunny Hills will be rotating into the top side.
Yeah, they'll easily be able to clear those 2 towers, especially with the Kog'Maw going bot and the Darius recalling. This should be very easy for them.
Completely clearing vision in Troy's top side jungle. So now Troy has almost no wards in their topside jungle. They will have to walk. They'll have to walk in blind just to get some vision there. And Sunny Hills has the opportunity for a big pick.
Wonder what Tasty Apples is up to. It looks like he's gonna be shoving mid on his own and hoping maybe he can draw someone there. Not too sure. But they are backing off of top. They're not gonna go for a tier 2. They're gonna back. They've got plenty of gold in their pockets. They're gonna shop and they're gonna come back even stronger.
Javine on this Varus, pushing his gold lead now to 5,000 up from 4,000. At this point, I'm not sure what Troy can do to try to shut down this Varus here. With his heal coming up and his flash up, it looks like he just has too much peel from his team, especially with the Shen ulti and the Alistar. Alistar actually opted to get Knight's Vow as a first item here instead of Rocket, which maybe shows that Sunny is putting a lot of emphasis onto the ADC here, as they sacrifice the team shield just to be able to peel the ADC a little bit harder.
Yeah, they're going to be investing even more into that AD carry, it looks like, with the Glacial Shroud on the Alistar, which can build into a Zeke's. I think they're just going to put that on him again. They're just going to play completely around him. And
now we will be able to tell if Sunny Hills will be able to close this game out here. It looks like they will be looking for a pick. Gex clearing out the vision here. A reminder that the Alistar does have flash up. Oh, actually, Vinky goes super aggressively here onto Tasty Apple. Tasty Apple's forced to Zanya. The Hextech ultimatum, and here comes Nishmish with the Darwin ulti coming down onto Lulu. Lulu does not quite enough to fall here yet. Gex with a beautiful two-man headbutt pulverized combo, and this is a completely messy fight. It looks like JTail will be falling to the Ignite. Vinky's the first one to fall. Javine is legendary once again. And Troy is just not able to cleanly pick up this fight, even though the members of Sunny Hills were split, and it looks like this should be the end to game 2.
yeah, if they get the pick right here on the Kog'Maw, it's over.
And in that fight, we saw that... So, Sunny Hills actually backing out here. It looks like JTail in hot pursuit, maybe looking for an apprehend onto Tasty Apples. A re-engage coming out from Sunny Hills. Javine manages to pick up Ram KK. JTail is falling, but the wave is just not there to close out this game. It looks like Sunny Hills will be basing, managing to pick up not only around 7 kills, but also a Nexus Tower with the inhib and the inhibitor turret. So if we look at that fight again, we see that Vinhy used his flash to gap close onto Tasty Apples, and also hits him with the Hextech ultimatum, dodging the Emperor's Divide. But even though the Tasty Apples was cut out there on his Azir, Flamin' Link's Shen ultimate, Stand United, was just quite enough, or just enough to keep him alive there. It looks like the members of Troy were not fast enough to rotate onto Tasty Apples. Whoa, Tasty Apples walking through walls there, what was that? King's coming down onto Dragon. But yeah, as we saw there, so Tasty Apples was the first one to get caught out. But the members of Troy were just not fast enough to rotate. And then Nishmish came down with his Cataclysm, able to catch out Lacen Ching and Ram KK. And this game is just not going well for Troy. A 13,000 gold difference. Majority of that on the ADC.
Yeah, I think the move here for Sunny Hills, they play it slow in mid, they try and slow siege it while the Shen sets up the wave in top. And if they get a big enough wave going and take down that tier 2, I think it'll be easy for them to rotate or just push down this mid.
Right. And it does look
Because if you think about it, they have to put someone in bot lane to deal with supers, and if Shen is up top at their inhib, they're going to have to summon someone to respond to that, which will probably be Darius. So if you have just Kog'Maw, Talia, and Lulu holding mid, it's not gonna last very long.
So it looks like Troy does have enough wave clear to hold this mid inhibitor turret. Sunny Hills will probably need to look for a really hard engage here to kind of close this game out, or maybe end through bot lane. But Flaming Link should be able to push that top wave up to the tier 2 tower. Troy probably will not have a response to that. Maybe they'll send Vinhee up to try to deal with Flaming Link. But at this point, I just do not think it's a feasible solution. Vinhee going really aggressively here onto Flaming Link, but the damage is not there. Emperor's Divide coming down onto Rampage Cake. Cataclysm comes down, jumping forward. Vishnu should be able to pick up this kill on Rampage Cake, but Rampage Cake is not dying. But here comes Javine. Javine tearing through the members of Troy. J-Tao for solo. Rampage Cake, first one's full. And Gex will be able to pick up this kill onto J-Tao.
As soon as the only threat to their bars was gone, Camille, when she was in top, they knew that they could go for the engage, and that would be the game because of it.
The Bars actually still has this Guardian Angel on. It looks like they should be able to close this game out. The Nexus is open here. Javine should be able to pick up a relatively easy double kill. Javine, 11-0 and 11. Completing this game with a perfect KDA as Sunny Hills takes out Troy in the first round of the Orange County eSports League. And that will be a 2-0 going over to Sunny Hills. Very well played by both sides, especially Sunny Hills.
Yeah, looking at that damage graph, that Azir was putting in work.
Right, let's take a look at the graphs here. And yep, like you said, Javine and Azir both completely popping off here. Azir doing more than double the damage of his opposing laner. And it does not look like there will be a game 3. Clean win coming out of Sunny Hills in both rounds, taking out Modern Day 2-0 and Troy 2-0. So a really nice week here. The opener of the OCEL League. And that will probably be an end to today's stream. Congratulations to Sunny Hills Black and Sunny Hills Gold. Until next time.